Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah, double on the apostle GMS. This is I'm Noah Allah coming at you in the video. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the topic of you can't serve the Most High and Mammon, meaning riches. Yo, and that's the truth. You can't serve the Most High and Mammon because the sacrifice has to be given. You know? And being that way in the flesh, there's always going to be some form of temptation coming your way. But it's your job through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah to fight that. So let's get right to it. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. No man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other. Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. So let's deal with that. No man can serve two masters. In other words, if a person has a master, they have an allegiance to their master. They have a loyalty. They have an obedience to them. You can't serve two masters. Why? Because you will have your obedience and your loyalty will be divided. And being that your obedience and loyalty will be divided to those two masters, it will then conflict with what it is that your duty is. It will conflict with what it is that you're supposed to do. See, if you have, for example, you in this truth, the Most High is our master. But let's say at the same time, you got this job and you got a boss. You can't serve both masters because your obedience and your loyalty is divided. So it'll be to one you will have a greater loyalty to than the other. You may have a greater loyalty to your boss than to the Most High. So you're doing that which will please your boss, so that you will have the material gain. But you aren't doing that which will please the Most High, so you will have a spiritual gain. Your loyalty is divided. Being that your loyalty is divided, you aren't being obedient to the words of the Most High. Because if you got two masters, there's one you're going to be more obedient to than the other. What one master requires, the other master isn't going to require, but it's going to therefore cause a level of conflict. Well, he's telling me to do this, but he's telling me to do that. And what he's telling me to do is contradicting what he's telling me to do. It's like being at a job and you got two people that are supposed to be over you, that got seniority over you. They telling you two different things. Well, which one you going to listen to? See what I mean? Well, one person is telling you is going to conflict with the other person telling you. One person telling you go to the third floor and get those boxes and bring it down there, but they'll tell you go into the basement and bring them boxes upstairs. So which one you going to listen to? Your loyalty and your obedience is divided. Okay? So no man can serve two masters. You can't do that. For either he will hate the one and love the other. You're going to hate one and you're going to love the other. In other words, it's going to be one you're going to have a greater level of love and loyalty to. Or else, and be obedient to, or else you will hold to the one and despise the other. You're going to hold to one, take heed to what one is saying, and you're going to despise and not take heed to what the other one is saying, to what the other requires. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. Mammon is talking about riches. Look at that word, mammon.
Strong's G 3126. Mammonas.
Mammonas. Mammon, treasure, riches. There you go. So let's talk about riches. Okay? Can't serve the Most High and riches. So these two masters that it's referencing is riches. Can't do that. Can't serve the Most High and riches. Because the Most High requires things that lead to spiritual. He requires the spiritual. He requires that which will get you into the kingdom of heaven. Not earthly riches. The Most High don't require that. As a matter of fact, you read up in that chapter, Matthew 6:19, it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. Right? So moths corrupt your garments. They eat your garments. Your garments eventually become moth-eaten. And rust doeth corrupt. Yeah, so if you got some type of riches, some type of possessions, it eventually gets rusted. In other words, it becomes old. And where thieves break through and steal, so if you're storing treasures on earth, a thief can come through and break into your house and steal it. So you're not supposed to lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth. Now, that don't mean you may not have nice clothes or other types of things like that, but you're not supposed to lay up for yourselves treasures upon earth. If a person is laying up treasures, their mind is dead set on those materialistic possessions, because they're laying up those treasures, they're hoarding those treasures, they're storing those treasures. Why? Because and their mind is dedicated to that. That's what they focused on. And a thief can break through and steal those materialistic possessions, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. That's what you do. You lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. How do you lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven? You lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven by doing the spiritual works here on the earth. When you do the works of the Lord on the earth, that's you laying up those treasures in heaven. Why? Because the Most High and the Son are taking heed of those righteous actions that you're doing on the earth. And there's a record of that being kept. Now, I don't mean something that's actually being written down on a piece of paper and the Most High is having an angel stored inside of a vault somewhere, safe somewhere. No. When I say a record is being kept, in other words, when something is being recorded, it's being taken into account of. So you're going to receive a reward from on high. So that's how you live for yourselves treasures in heaven. By doing the righteous works of the Most High, doing the work, fasting, praying, studying, keeping the laws to the best of your ability. That's you laying up treasures in heaven. And those righteous acts you're going to be taken heed of by the Most High and the Son. And you'll be rewarded for that. Don't the scripture say in the book of Revelation, it says their works do follow them? How can your work follow you after you die? We'll get that. Let's keep reading though. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt. Right? Moth can't corrupt those type of treasures. And this is the most spiritual treasures. And where thieves do not break through and steal. For where your treasure, thieves can't break through and steal in the heavens. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So whatever it is that you treasure, whatever it is that's valuable unto you, whatever it is that's precious unto you, there will your heart or your mind be also. It's going to meaning it's going to be fixated upon that. Okay? Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's what your mind going to truly be focused on. This is the book of Revelation 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the faith of the saints. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Those that die in the Lord are the ones who maintain their faith unto the death. Those are the ones that died in the Lord. They believed, they maintained their faith in the Lord, did the work, and they eventually died. So they died in the Lord. They died believing, they died in the faith. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors. So when they die, they're resting for all them labors, all of the spiritual battles they had to undergo, and physical battles as well, all the things they had to deal with. They're resting from them labors now when they die and go back to the Father. And their works do follow them. So their works follow them. How? Because they committed those righteous acts while they was on the earth. And their works follow them because even after death, when the kingdom of heaven is established, they're going to receive a reward for the righteousness that they committed while they were on the earth. So that's an example of their works following them. Them receiving the reward. So they did all of these righteous acts on earth. They taught, they fast, they prayed, so on and so forth, right? They gathered fruit into the kingdom of heaven that's meet for repentance. They did all of those things while they were on earth. But then they died in the Lord, they died in the faith. But their works are going to follow them. Because though they died, they're going to receive a reward. In other words, the righteous acts that they did on the earth is taken into account of. And their works are going to follow them. And they're going to receive a reward for what they have done. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 5. Okay? So we got that part. They receive a rest from their labors. Because when you die and you're in the heaven, you at peace. You're receiving a rest from the labors that you've done when you on earth. Proverbs 23:5, and your works are going to follow you. You're going to receive a reward for what you've done. They're going to follow. They're going to accompany you, figuratively speaking. In other words, the righteous action you committed, you're going to receive that righteous. You're going to receive a reward for that righteousness. Proverbs 23:5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? Are you going to set your eyes upon something that's not there? You can't. So your mind, in fact, stuff in verse 4. Proverbs 23:4. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. So it says labor not to be rich. Now that don't mean, obviously when you work, you get money. But when it says labor not to be rich, your mind is not supposed to be just fixated upon money. It's going to tell you why. Cease from thine own wisdom, because in your own mind telling you it's the money, it's the money, it's the money, it's the money. So that's all you're thinking about. That's where your treasure is, there where your heart be also. You're treasuring that. That's where your mind is fixated upon, right? But thou set thine eyes upon that which is not. No, you can't set your eyes upon something that's not there. Because it's not there. So you laboring to be rich, but you can't set your eyes upon that which is not. Why is that? You can't set your eyes upon those riches that you're laboring for, which is not. Why? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So you can't set your eyes upon that which is not. You can't set your mind, the eyes of your mind, your focus, your understanding. You can't set your mind upon that which is not, which are those riches. Because why? Those riches make themselves wings and they fly away. You got them riches now, but then they're gone. So you can't set your eyes upon something that's not. Meaning you can't set your eyes upon something that's temporary. If it's temporary, I mean at some point it's not going to be there. So you can't set your eyes upon that which is not, because at some point it's no longer going to be there. And those riches make themselves wings and they fly away as the eagle towards heaven. They're here 1 minute, then they go on the next. So don't be sitting there worrying about your job. You gotta get out of that spirit. You gotta you gotta take that leap of faith and trust in your Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Yeah, man, I can't come out because of this or because of that. I got work. And then, you're not coming out. Well, you gotta take a leap of faith. You gotta say, man, I gotta tell my boss I can't make it Saturday. Because a bunch of months have gone past. I'm not telling you to quit your job. But if it's hindering you from doing the work, then you gotta get a new job. They tell you to come out and work. You got to work at this particular time, and at that time you got to go out and teach, and you're not able to go out. And let's say months pass, then you got to get another job. You got to take the leap of faith, man. Listen, I'm just going to tell them, guys, I can't make it on Saturday. It is what it is. And you know what? Maybe your boss, Most High is putting your boss have compassion, or whatever it is doing on Saturday, he's not coming out. So let's give him another hour. Another set of hours. So instead of Saturday, you might get Sunday. Or whatever day it is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take that leap of faith and believe that the Most High is gonna provide for you. You get that money, you see all them thousands of dollars in your account. You start, thinking with the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You minding earthly things now. That can happen. So you gotta fast and pray. Mark 4:19. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. So it's talking about the parable of that seed, the power of the sower seed. I'm going right to the point. Mark 4:19 and verse 18 already. Verse 19. And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word and it becometh unfruitful. So that's an example of somebody the seed is sown among thorns. Somebody takes the seed and they sow the seed, they scatter the seed. Some of the seed go thrown in a bush of thorns. So when those seeds go into that soil, when it grows, what happens? Eventually, what grows out of that seed is going to get caught up in those thorns. Those thorns are going to choke it. That represents the cares of this world. It's stagnating the growth of that seed. It's stagnating the word from expanding because it's caught up in those thorns. So those thorns represent the cares of this world. That's a person who hears the word, but the cares of this word are really preventing that seed of the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahshua from truly being able to spring forth in that person. Because it's the deceitfulness of riches. It's the cares of this world. and the deceitfulness of riches, preventing that seed from truly sprouting in that individual. Okay, so just like you take a seed, if that seed is sown in the soil and it's going to get caught up in the bush of thorns when that seed starts to grow. That's like the word. The word is a seed. It goes into a man, it goes into a person, right? But now when that seed starts to grow, the cares of this world is preventing it from growing. The deceitfulness of riches is preventing it from growing. And the lust of other things choke the word. It starts to choke that seed, that plant that's growing. It can no longer expand. It can't sprout. The deceitfulness of riches. Why? Because riches deceive you. They're here one minute, going next. You spend it, don't you? You lose it, somebody can steal it, right? And the lust of other things entering in, other things, whether it's woman, fame, whatever it is. Getting a high position at your job, it chokes the word and it becomes unfruitful. See? So now, it becomes unfruitful. So now you ain't even in the truth no more. You're not even in the truth. You heard it, but then all these things start to come in, and now it's unfruitful. It's not yielding any fruit, so it's not producing nothing. Nothing spiritual. Proverbs 11:4. Rich, because you didn't take heed to the word. The cares of this world got to you. Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. You gotta understand that riches don't profit in the day of wrath. When the Most High, when that day of wrath comes, the thermonuclear destruction, the day of Jacob's trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble, it don't even, the thermonuclear destruction is talking about the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, and the coming Third World War. Okay? So it's the riches profit not in the day of wrath. It don't always even got to be talking about the destruction. It could be talking about a day the Most High chooses to bring forth his wrath in regards to any judgment that he sees fit for anything that's done. That's a day of wrath. That can be a day of wrath too. Oh, well, the Most High going to judge you. Well, guess what? Riches don't profit you at that point in time. You can't pay the Most High off. But righteousness delivered from death. See, riches are not going to profit in a day of wrath because it won't save you from the Lord's wrath. It won't save you from death. But righteousness delivered from death. So the righteousness come before the riches. Verse 16. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but the transgressors shall be taken in their own ordinance. So the sinners going to be taken in their own sins. I'll skip verse 5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. So your righteousness is supposed to direct you. But the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. But the wicked going to fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. There you go, that's self-explanatory. And the perfect is talking about the elect. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. Now obviously none of us are perfect, but the elect of the nation of Israel, the Lord died so that their sins will be forgiven. So it's like you're perfect. Though we aren't literally perfect, I'm talking about the sins of the elect have been washed away. So they've been found blameless. Without blame or without guilt, because they've been forgiven of their sins. Last verse. Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. That's Yahushua speaking. Just like Yahushua said in Matthew, Luke referencing in the back of Matthew the 6th chapter about storing up your treasures in heaven. Yahushua saying this here too. Take heed and beware of covetousness. When you covet something, you desire something that don't belong to you. You desiring, so let's go to that word covetousness. Greedy desire to have more, covetous avarice.
Strong's G 4124. Pleonoxia. Pleonoxia.
Pleonoxia. And this is covered in the dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary. It says to want to have something very much, especially something that belongs to someone else. There you go. So Luke 12:15, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. That strong desire, that desire for something. It could be desiring things that you shouldn't want. That's what scriptures say, covet not thy neighbor's wife. Thou should not covet the neighbor's wife or ox. That's something that belongs to your neighbor. See? That's desiring something that's not yours. Desiring something that you ought not have. Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. Understand that. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. So what it is that you possess, right? Your life don't. A man's life consists not in the abundance of things that you possess. These are earthly things. They're all temporary. That's why the Lord said in Matthew 6th chapter, store up your treasures in heaven where moth don't corrupt and where it doesn't rust and where thieves don't break through and steal. Because your life don't consist in those type of possessions. It's all about the spirit. It's all about the spirit. It's not about riches. So these materialistic possessions, that don't, in the eyes of the Lord, the Most High not judging you upon that. You know? He's not judging you upon that. Scripture tell you that the Most High seeth not how man seeth. Last scripture, 1 Samuel 6 and 7. But Yahweh Shemel Shah said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh Shemel Shah looketh on the heart. And this is when Samuel was going to anoint a new king for Israel. He saw one of David's brothers and said, this got to be the guy. Eliab, say in the 6th verse, this got to be the guy. But the Lord said unto Samuel, it's not about that. He look on the inward, the heart of the man, not the outward. So the Most High don't care about riches, how you look. It's not about that. It's about your spirit. So keep these words in mind. You know, it applies to me too, because I'm saying it. So the time I'm going to close and say, oh, praise Yahweh Shemel Shah, the blind say, Pastor GMS. I hope you learn something. Shalom.